Well, it's cracking, people. Angelic Mayhem here. Alright, so we're going to be doing this one in two parts. This is the game Warframe, and this first video is going to be about the interface and the graphic settings. So we're going to start in the upper left-hand corner here. You're going to see I have my avatar here. Actually, when you begin the game, it's going to have your rank. So what you want to do is you want to click on that, and you'll have the opportunity to select yourself. In this case, I changed my color to red. I'll show you how to do that later. So I happen to know which one I am. And so there I am. Right next to that, well, down here, this is the alerts. This is only if there's some sort of problem with the server and it's about to shut down, you will get a little message here. Here is my name and my profile. This contains all of the statistics. I have played 4 quick games with other players, and then 1 game by myself as a solo match. And so I have racked up a little bit of statistical information, which you can see here. I'm not going to go through all of these. Average cipher time, that's when you have a lock that you have to pick. It gives you a little mini game. My average time is 8 seconds, and so that lets you know how good I am at those mini games. Completion rate 100%. I have never failed to complete a quest. Never failed a mission. You fail a mission by dying too many times, or after you die 1 time, it will give you the option to quit, and if you do, then you will be given a mission quit. So that's the difference there. Skill is the number of skill points that I've picked up along the way. Gross income is the number of coins that I've received. Scrolling down, I have only met Greniers, so I have only killed 87 of them. And weapon accuracy, that number is grossly incorrect. I'm pretty sure, but we'll go with it for now. I'm pretty sure it's much lower than that in actuality, because I use only the machine gun and I use it only at long range, and I am horrifically inaccurate. Which you'll see in the next video. Rank, unranked. That's because I just got started. As you go up in rank over time, like as you can see up here, next rank is Silver Initiate. Right now, I'm Initiate level 1. Alright, down here, this goes into the specifics as to your various weapons. Top players gives you a leaderboard, so that you know who has the most kills in the game. My ranking will tell you exactly where I am on the list. Before the last game I played, I was 627,000th. So that ought to show you how quickly you can rise through the ranks. This is, in fact, the beta. I don't know when you're actually going to be watching this video, but this is the beta, so we're very early into all this. This game has only been out for a month, and already it has 1 million registered users. So, as you can tell, it is extremely popular. Deck, I have no idea what this does. It has been blank for the entire time that I've been playing the game. So, we'll come back to that later. Now, this is my first tip for you. Whenever you're in the menu, you always want to click back. If you do not, then what will happen is as you click on various things, it will open up, and then when you go to click back, it will automatically go back to what it was that you were on before. This can become a very long list of things, and you'll have to keep clicking back and back and back and back over and over again. So you click back, again, and it takes you back to this main screen, and then we can begin again. Up here, you'll see 19,297, and it looks like paper. That is the credits that you receive as you play the game. It's like money in any other game. You can use these to buy things, like mods and new weapons and things like that. 30 is the special game currency that you can actually buy with real cash. They give you 50 of these to start the game, so that you can purchase your first couple of things and get a taste for it, and then if you decide that you like the game, you can buy more, and that's how they're going to make their money. This button is very important, especially for first-time players. What you'll see is there's online, there's private, and there's solo. Online means that you're going to play with 4 other people as a squad in 1 level. And you're going to go through the level together, and you're all going to be shooting at the same stuff. Private means that you and a bunch of your friends get together and you play as a squad, just the 4 of you, or however many you have, and you go through the game together, but nobody from the outside can join. And solo is you by yourself playing offline, a full level with the same number of bad guys, so it's going to be significantly harder. But when you play your first game, I would highly recommend that you play it online so that you can see for your first game how the game is played and watch other players as they go through and dominate and destroy all the players. Then what you should do is switch to solo. The reason why is because when you're online, the people who have been playing forever will simply dominate. They'll go through the level, they'll blow through, and they'll destroy everyone. And so you won't get any hits and any experience, and you'll just be there wandering around, checking the place out. But at the same time, you're not going to get any experience, so you're not going to level up at all. So you're going to be playing the game, and you're going to be very bored. If you switch to solo, it's more like a traditional third-person shooter like you would, download and play. So I highly recommend switching to solo after your first game, but for your first game, play online so that you can see how things are going, and it's much, much easier. You can let the other people kill all the really tough guys, and you don't have to worry about that. Now we're going to get over here on the right-hand side. Well, first, let me talk about this. This little space thing here is our solar system, meaning ours as in Earth is one of these planets. And when you roll over it, it will tell you this is the Venus system, this is the Mercury system, there's the Earth system. And when you click on it, it will take you in, and these are the levels that you can actually play. When you're in online mode, you have to wait for all 4 people to be ready. So what you would do is you would click on, let's say, Terminus. I won't do it now because that'll take me into a game. And that you'll see it'll say waiting for 3 other people. As soon as everybody's ready, it will load you in, and then the game begins. By yourself, if you just click on this, the game starts up. I'll head back. Each of these represents a different difficulty level. Mercury is the easiest. There are games that you can quite easily play. Venus, I've already found to be a little bit more difficult. I can't even find Venus. There it is. And then I can't even imagine what Earth is because I haven't unlocked it yet. I played exactly 1 game of Venus and got myself just annihilated. There's all kinds of extra enemies and things like that that I wasn't even aware of, and I was totally unprepared for. The reason why was because I was playing all these multiplayer games and I wasn't getting any experience. I unlocked all of Mercury because the other players were doing all the hard work. Then when I went to Venus, I was absolutely unprepared and I got totally slaughtered. Arsenal. Arsenal is all about your weapons and your build. These are the 4 magic powers that you have. This is obviously you. You can see I've achieved rank level 5. You can switch up your skin depending upon how much money you're willing to spend. As you can see, this Loki costs 75 of their in-game currency. I only have 30, so I would have to plop down some amount of cash in order to unlock Loki. As you can see, that's how they're going to be making their money. Back here, so down here is gear. Gear is very simple stuff. It's extra ammo, it's some shield stuffs, it's things like that. And you pay for each of these things, but you're paying with the in-game, the coin that you pick up along the way. So this isn't, a big deal. You just pick up a couple shields and things like that, and you can take them with you. The only thing I have is a cipher. The reason why I have that is to, in the event that I have to hack through a door, if for some reason I can't do it in time, instead of setting off the alarm, I'll use a cipher real quick. So far, I have not had a problem hacking through a door, so I still have my cipher. Inventory. Alright, so wireframes is what you look like. That's your skin. You can buy more slots so that you can have more skins. Equally over here, these are your weapons. As you go along, you can purchase and or earn extra weapons, and you can buy slots to accommodate the extra weapons that you buy. Down here, these are the miscellaneous items that you pick up along the way. As you play the game, you will find these things just hidden in the level. They'll be in little, chests, some lockers and things like that. As they fall out of the locker, you will automatically pick them up and then they'll be here. These things will be used later for crafting, and I will show you that. That's down here in the foundry. Back up. Now we go to mods. Mods are also picked up while you are inside the game. What you can do is you can take any one of these mods and fuse it with another mod. So in this case, I picked up sprint speed, and let's say that I wanted to boost it, okay? And well, actually, this one's better. So I get critical chance, and I want to boost this. It says 5% critical chance, but I want to make it better. I click on fusion, and then I have another 5% critical chance. When I add the two together, they become 10% critical chance. When I click apply fusion, the two will become 1. This costs a little bit of the in-game money. It doesn't matter. Click yes. And there we are. I now have true steel, a really good true steel, as opposed to 2 average true steels. And you can do this over and over again. You will also pick up cores, which are miscellaneous cards that you can apply to anything, and it will automatically make it better. If you attempt to apply something, like for instance, this is a melee critical change. If I attempt to apply pistol ammo max, it won't do anything to this card in the way of increasing the 10% crit chance. It will just increase this bar over here, which makes it a little bit better, a tiny bit better. So that's a way to, you know, buff yourself and to become very good, is to keep an eye on this page, and then you want to fuse together as much as you can in order to create these, you know, gigantically powerful cards that you can use later. When you go into any one of your rifles, you can then choose another rifle if you don't like the one that you're holding. Keep in mind that each weapon ranks up individually as you're playing with it, so you will have to rank up this automatic rifle if you expect it to be as good as this one. Also, each weapon has a color. You can change the color by clicking on the little palette, and I changed my gun color to red. If I wanted to, I could change it to green. It's not a tremendous change. After all, you're supposed to be camouflaged. But, as you can see, I made my character all red, so there you go. And now, there is no back button here. You have to hit escape. I don't know why. That's pretty goofy. Also, for weapons, you can add the cards that we were making. In this case, this is a rifle card, ergo, it goes with your rifle. And you can add this if you have enough space, which I do not. I have already installed this mod. If I take that away, I now have 6 points to spend on mods. This is a 4-point mod. That would leave me to, obviously, 2 points. You can upgrade the amount of mod points that you can spend by adding an Orokin Catalyst to your weapon. You can add 3 Orokin Catalysts, 1 for your rifle, 1 for your pistol, and 1 for your sword. They will then buff this and let you add even more and more of these cards. I'm not 100% sure how many of these you can stack onto one weapon, or if different weapons have different number of catalyst slots that you can use. But for right now, I do not have one on here, but I will show you one. I click on mods. Oh, no, that just takes me in there. Oh, cancel that. Cancel. No. So, under me, oops, not there. Under me, you can see that I have used one of my Orokin Catalysts on me in order to accommodate Crush and Bullet Attractor. I would not be able to have both of these at the same time if I was just had this build. So pistol and melee weapon, they're all exactly the same. You can change the color and you can change the mods that you attract to them. And obviously, as you pick up better stuff, you want to swap out and then click apply. Yes. So now my melee weapon has some extraordinary extra damage to it. Alright, so let's back out of Arsenal. Remember to always hit back. Contacts. These are the people who you know who play the game. You will meet them along the way, and if you want to befriend them, you can. The market is where you would spend your in-game currency or regular cash, depending upon what you have. Now here is blueprints. I want you to keep that in the back of your mind. These are the blueprints that you can either find while you're playing the game, which are incredibly rare, or you can purchase them here inside the shop. These are the Warframe blueprints, and you'll see that I think that there are also weapon blueprints. Indeed there are. So you can actually purchase these weapon blueprints take them into the foundry, and build them. Now, these blueprints only require the currency that you get in the game, so I could actually purchase one of these now if I wanted to. Equipment is obviously equipment, and this is also where, if I hit 2, this is where you get your Orkin reactor in order to add the extra buff space for yourself. And there's all kinds of things in here. I'll let you experiment with that. These are colors that you can unlock to change the color of your weapons in person. Yes, not all the colors are unlocked. That's a little weird, but we'll go with it. Finally is the foundry of the main HUD items. You would have your blueprint here. You would use the components that you find while you're playing the game, attach them to the blueprint, and then it will ask you if you want to create the weapon, and you will say yes. So those are the main HUD items. Now we're going to get into these settings. Over here, first setting that comes up is gameplay. You let them know where your region is. That will put you on a server that is nearby, which will limit the amount of lag that you have. Global chat will allow a chat box that goes beyond the people who are in your game. It will go across all the people who are logged into this server. I turn that off just out of habit because normally global chat is just hammered with people with spam and all kinds of crap. Filter is just if you don't want to hear dirty language, which is ridiculous, so I turn that off as well. PNP, I don't actually know what that does, but I leave it checked. Ports, doesn't matter. This is the default setting. Analyze network is if you just want to double check your network. It will ping out to the server and make sure that you are not lagging or, you know, that everything's clear via the internet. Display. I'm at 1280 by 720 for the obvious reason that that's what we broadcast in on YouTube. You can play at any resolution. I've actually played at 1280 by 10, I think it's 1024. I play at that, and that gives me a full screen view and is very good for me. Aspect ratio auto, or you can specify if for some reason it isn't exactly to your liking. Field of view, you can jack it up pretty far. I enjoy it up this far. I know some other people prefer it back down here. You'll have to experiment and decide what you like on your own. The default of the game is dead center, and then, like I said, I went over here so that I could see more of what's going on. Display mode is whether you want full screen or windowed. I will tell you that when I switched to windowed, the game crashed, and I was able to tell them about it. So hopefully that will be fixed soon, but windowed is actually a perfectly legitimate option. After I reloaded, it loaded up in windowed fine. It was when I switched that I got the game crash. Anti-aliasing is to take off the jagged edges around the people. I don't really care about that, so I unchecked it. High dynamic range, swear to God, no idea. Local reflections is if a person is next to a shiny object, you will see them in the shiny object. I kept that clicked because that is pretty cool and it helps you in the game, because if you see somebody in a reflection, then you know where they are. Dynamic lighting is if a light is in motion or if a person is in motion, the lights will change on how they're cast onto that person or object. Motion blur is as people are moving, there's a tiny blur. I didn't care about that. It's not that amazing, so I turned it off. Don't know what bloom is. I turned it off. Color correction. If you see, when I click on this, it makes the screen more vibrant. Since that reduces the frame rate of the game, I turned it off. And now it reduces the frame rate for me. I can physically see it in fraps. It just drops it like, 2 or 3. So I don't know what it does in game, but we'll see. But I turned it off anyway. Character shadows is cast of the, as the characters wander around, they cast a shadow on the ground. Adds to the realism of the game, and it doesn't affect anything that I'm doing, so I left it on. I don't have it in a video card, so I didn't get involved in the FX. Shadow quality, I just kept it on low. I don't, this is a shooter, so you're not stopping to smell the roses. You're out there shooting people, so you don't need super high quality shadows because those people are going to be dead. Texture memory is it's how many textures are loaded into memory. If you dump it down to low, then what will happen is the game will run a little bit faster, but as you change rooms, you may get a little bit of a jump. Brightness is obvious, contrast is obvious, and vertical sync is just to keep odd lines and things like that from showing up on your screen. Just leave it on auto. Key bindings. I could do an entire thing on key bindings, but I will tell you that I did change them. So while you're watching the video, which will be the next video on gameplay, you'll see things like it'll say press G to open. That is not the default key. That's the one that I changed it to. The default key to open drawers or to open lockers and things like that is X. That was incredibly inconvenient for me and kept giving me hand cramp, so I switched it over. I do not use ASD and W because that's ridiculous. It removes your pinky from the equation, and I don't think that is normal. I use FD, S, and E, and then A is used as the action button, or in this case, I use it to crouch because I use crouch all the time. Space is also sprint in my case. Normally space is to jump, but I have only found one instance where I needed to jump, and the rest of the time I'm just running. So sprint is more important to me than jump. Also, rolling is going to become incredibly important to you. You should know which key rolls, because in order to get through certain areas that have a laser grid over top of them, you have to roll through the laser grid. So know which button that is. Backing up. Alright, so we covered all that. Down here, aim sensitivity, I just left it at default. It works. It was doing fine for me. And it allows me to spin around real quick if somebody gets in behind me. Gameplay southpaw, that's if you want to switch to your right and left mouse buttons, if you're a lefty. Vibration is if you have a game controller. Invert Y and invert X, you know what that is. Use abilities on selection is if you... Alright, so you have magical powers. They're assigned to, in my case, they're assigned to Z, X, C, and V. Normally they're assigned to 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you press 4, it will make that ability happen if this is checked. If it is not checked, it will select it so that that's the next ability that you use. And then when you press the ability button, which in my case is T, I don't even remember what the default is. When I hit T, while this is unchecked, then the ability will occur. So that's the best way to do it, as far as I'm concerned, is, you know, I'll set it on V, which is crush, and then I'll hit T every time I want to crush someone. And hold jump to wall run. I have yet to be able to actually wall run. I have no idea how to do that. Leave it checked though. That is the best way to wall run, assuming that it actually happens based on my experience with other games. And finally, a sound. These are all very standard things. You know, it all depends on, you know, what you want to, how you want the game to sound. I turn the music down. It's nice music, but, you know, obviously after a while it gets to you, so I just jacked it down a little bit. So there you have it. That is the interface for Warframe. The next video that you're going to watch, hopefully, is my actual gameplay footage of a game that I played earlier, and I hope you enjoy it.